Hello everyone. Welcome. It is 3 p.m. and I hope you're having a great Monday. I'm just going to log in here to Facebook. Let me know when you're joining me today. Hopefully I have a few friends that are going to be here. All right. So yeah, go ahead and comment when you can, so that I know that you're here. All right. Hello, Gail. I'm glad you're feeling better, Gail. I've been thinking about you. I'm glad you're here. Hope you had a great Easter. Hello, everyone. Hi, Margaret. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So who can guess what we're organizing today? I would love for you all to share what you think we're going to organize today. We're going to get started in another minute. All right, does anyone have any questions while we are waiting? All right, pretty quiet out there today. Well, happy to have you with me. Thank you for being here. Hello, Carol. And thank you for sharing, Gail. I appreciate that. I'm sure there are people out there on Facebook who are wondering, how should I organize my stamp room? So I hope this series has been helping you. And I see a couple of more comments coming in. All right, I think we're ready to get started. So welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. My name is Tammy Shaia. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And as many of you know, I recently moved. I actually moved in December. And so I am now unpacking the stamp room and organizing it. And so we are going to be organizing dies. Yes, Gail, you have the correct answer. Yay. So on Friday, we talked about organizing stamp sets. And now we're going to move in to dies, okay? So we'll also talk about embossing folders. I'm going to show you how I label my embossing folders and dies, and I'll show you how I store them. On Friday, when we were talking about stamp set organization, I'm trying to remember, we had not labeled different categories. So I did decide to organize my stamp sets by different categories. And I was going to share that with you first so that you'll have that information. And then we can move on to dies and embossing folders. So I'm going to show you how I organize my stamp sets now, to finish up the stamp set organization. And I use this little machine, and it's called a 𝗵𝗵𝗇, 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗇. It is a Bluetooth label machine, and you actually use it with your cell phone. So I'm going to be showing you that this week. I can't do it today because I'm using my cell phone for my hands. So, but later in the week, I'm going to show you actually how to use this little 𝗵𝗵𝗇, okay? It's super fun and super cute. You're getting ready to see the labels, so that's why I'm sharing the information now. All right, so I'm going to be moving my iPad here, all right? And we are going to move over. I'm going to show you how I decided to organize the stamp sets, okay? All right. So here we go. I have got to turn this around. Okay, so this is how I decided to do it. I have my alphabets at the very top, Okay, and I'll back up a little bit so you can see the entire bookcase. There you go. Now you can get a better view of it, okay? So top left corner, that's where I have all my alphabet stamp sets. Now remember, these are my retired stamp sets, okay? They are retired, but I'm not willing to part with them yet, okay? So we've got alphabets, and next to alphabets, we have animals. So the other thing that I've decided to do is alphabetize the categories, okay? So alphabet, animals, and some I've already labeled. This is flowers, and you can see the label right there. And this is going to be fruits and veggies. Hang on, fruits and veggies right up there between the photos. And on the right, it's going to be edible treats because it's cookies and coffee. So then we move down again, and now, and I have to back up, we have greetings, okay? So they're greetings, and next to greetings, I have holidays. So there's Valentine's, Easter, Halloween, and autumn. And then down here on both of these shelves, I have Christmas. So let me zoom in so you can see the Christmas label. It's actually going to say holidays, not Christmas. I'm getting there, girls, I'm getting there. And here's another one, holidays. And if we get to the very bottom, we have masculine stamp sets. And this one is going to be, what did I decide to call it? It's going to be called 𝗵𝗃 because these stamp sets use specific punches. So that category is going to be 𝗵𝗃. And then we've got special occasions. That's going to be birthday, babies, weddings, that sort of thing. And then over here at the end, we have spiritual. So again, these are all retired stamp sets, but I started making the labels today. So I'm getting very excited about that. Now, if we move over to the other stamp case, these are not labeled yet, okay? These are going to be all my current stamp sets. So you're going to find a shelf for the annual catalog. There will be a shelf for online exclusives. By the way, online exclusives right there. And there will be a shelf for the mini catalog as well. Okay? So that's how I decided to do it. And I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so let's see. Now I can flip on over the other way. Okay, so Susan, my stamp sets have always been in alphabetical order, even the retired ones, okay? And so with the new room, I decided some new organization, and it's gonna be, you know, when I wanna make a wedding card, I can go to my retired section and my current section, and I can find all the wedding stuff that I might need, or a baby card, or a cute little animal, or some masculine stamp sets. So I think it's gonna work really well, especially for the retired items. Also, for the catalogs, that's all my current stuff. I'm gonna organize it by online exclusives. It'll be alphabetized, but only online exclusives. And the same for the annual catalog and the mini, okay? Any questions about that? We're finishing up stamp sets, and now we're gonna move on to embossing folders and dies, okay? So let me know if you have any questions regarding that. I'll give you just a second. Okay. We also talked about this on, I think it was Friday. We talked about stamp sets and how I like to, if my stamp set has coordinating dies, I like to put them together in a stamp and die storage case, okay? Because if it's a current set, I'm gonna be using it and I'll have everything at my fingertips. Now, once the stamp set retires, or, you know, at any point, I always keep the saved envelopes. You're going to see those today. And I keep the empty clear mount cases. So I keep all of that. And then when I'm ready to retire or sell it, it'll go back in its original packaging. So, oh, wow, Diane. Wow, that is such a compliment. Thank you. Yeah, I've never done it this way before, so we'll see how it goes. Susan said she does the same thing with her stamps and dies, unless it's real big dies. Yeah, me too, Susan. Me too. Okay, well, let's talk about embossing folders first, okay? And this is a retired embossing folder, but I'm bringing it here because I want to show you how I label it, okay? And then I'm going to show you how I label the big ones, or maybe I'll show you that first. Okay. So I'm basically going to show you a couple of different sizes of embossing folders, and then we're going to label one. This is their standard size, and these were an online exclusive. So that's why it has a pink dot on it. It also has a yellow dot because it's 3D. So sometimes I like to do color coding that way. Then our large ones here, I've got the name of the embossing folder, the item number, and yellow meaning 3D. And I don't know if you noticed, but the item number is on these as well. And I use my Brother P-Touch machine. I'm going to show you how I do that today, okay? So yeah, here are the bigger ones right here. And they also have labels. Now you're going to notice sometimes I keep the paper, the insert, and I just put it behind the embossing folder. So I don't have all of the papers, I have some of them. So those that I have, I do keep. I would love to know how you all do it as well. Okay, so let's move on over here to the P-Touch machine. It's a Brother P-Touch. My machine is probably 10 to 12 years old. I know they make newer models, and you can find some of those newer machines in my Amazon store, which I can show you later. So first, when I am starting, I know I want 2 lines of printing. We have a title and then we have the item number. So there's a special way that you can do that with your P-Touch machine, and you will hit Deco Mode 10. That's the one I always use for my embossing folders. And then I'm gonna hit OK. And then it's asking me like auto, text 1. All right, so now we're at text 1, and I am going to clear out the old title. All right, and this one's going to be called 𝗀𝗃 3D. 𝗀𝗃 3D. And then I am going to hit OK. And then there's the item number that I need to add. And that's going to be item number 155433. And then I hit OK, and it's asking me if I would like to print it. And I say OK. And by the way, I have a low battery, so. Oh, you know what? There's one thing I forgot to share with you. I'll do that now. Okay. So this is what it would look like, and then I usually cut off the square from that side. But there's one more thing we want to do. So I'm going to hit the deco mode again, and it's design 10. And I'm going to keep the text, which is 𝗺𝗁 3D. And then I am going to put, let's see, I'm going to put 1 of 2. And that means that there's more than one embossing folder with this set, okay? And I'm gonna look and see. I'm actually gonna put some parentheses too. Let's put some parentheses around that. I'm gonna show you as soon as I get all the way there. And I'm gonna add another parenthesis. So this is what it's gonna look like, 1 of 2 with the item number. And then I'm gonna hit print. And there it goes. I know it's really hard for y'all to see with the lighting in the room, and then there's the ring lights. So everything, I may have to print it again. All right. I think it's coming out okay now. Here it is, 𝗺𝗁 3D, 1 of 2, and that's the item number, okay? So we are going to trim this part off. And I used to use my paper trimmer, and I don't do that anymore. I just use my paper snips. So this is gonna be my number 1. If you look at the paper, we've got pine branches here, and then we've got snowflakes here. So the pine branches, I'm gonna say that's 1 of 2, that's number 1. All right. And I'm gonna add it right along here. Okay, and then I have another one to add because we do have that second embossing folder. I'm going to Deco 10. Line 1 is the same, and now all I have to do is, and I'll try and do this so you can see it, but it's probably not gonna work because of the reflection. So I put 2 of 2, and so now it's printing. And by the way, I always put the label on the front, just like the Stampin' Up logo is on the front, okay? So Diane says that she doesn't keep the papers, but she does label. All right, I trimmed that one. Ineke, it's good to have you here from the Netherlands. Glad you joined us. Okay, so here we go. We have both of them. I could actually add a yellow dot to be 3D. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. And let me show you what I am storing the minis in. You are not going to believe this. Do you remember that I showed this to you for storing small punches? This is the Made Smart from the Container Store. And I'm using it now for this, and I'm loving it. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get our embossing folders in here. All right, I feel like I am missing one of these. The little flower, we'll find it in a second, I guess. All right, here is wrapped in texture, and they are in no particular order, okay? No particular order at all. Oh, here's Fun Patterns. This is the one I was looking for, and it was right in front of me. And then here's the 3D. And so I can do either. See, I'm always on the fence about this. Should I keep the paper or should I not keep it? But this is from the Container Store. I'm sure you all remember us talking about it. I might be able to pull that up. Let me pull up the link. I definitely will put it on air post when we're done today. All right, hang on one second. Try and pull it up. Here we go. This is the largest tray, and it comes with the white rubber in the bottom, or you can do the black. I like the black. I put my very small punches in this one. It worked out amazingly. Now there should be some other components to it, and that's what I wanted to show you. If I click that, will that work? Yes. So it was the large tray. Let's see, it's still buy one, get one free until the end of this month. And the measurements on this are 7 3/4 inches by 9 3/4 inches. It's $8.49. It's buy one, get one half off. You're going to find it in the kitchen section, okay? Let me see. Let me try this link and see what comes up. Haha, there it is. So this is the tray I am using right now, and it is a 9 by 8. And I am finding this to be the best container for a stamp room. I just kind of fell upon it. So that's what we're doing with the skinny minis. I'm putting them right here. The other beautiful thing about this container is if I had a second one, it could sit right on top, okay? Because they nest with each other, which is awesome. All right. Any questions regarding the minis? Okay, so now we're going to be talking about some embossing folder organization, okay? All right, I'm gonna show you the drawer or the drawers. And remember, one of my hands will be on the iPad, the other one would be pulling out the drawer. So it's hard to juggle everything, but just bear with me as we do this. Hey, Deborah, how are you this afternoon? Okay, now if you remember, let me get this turned around. Turn around, there we go. Okay, these are the base cabinets here, and this is where I will be doing my die cutting, okay? So this side right here on the left is going to be for all my embossing products and some other miscellaneous things too, okay? All right, so we're gonna open this up, first drawer, and you're going to notice that my most current embossing folders are going to be in this crate, okay? These embossing folders have retired. They're the bigger ones, and these are the standard size. Sorry, it is really hard to guide you through this and hold the iPad. But here is this size right here. And they're retired, but I keep them. I like having them. They don't take up a lot of space. They just need a crate or something to hold them. So, and then of course this one. Now some of these here, they're also retired, but I may possibly use them for something. So they're in this particular crate. And then of course, here are the minis, all right? Oh, and then back here, in case you're wondering, I've got some miscellaneous papers, not sure where the embossing folders are. And then a long time ago, Stampin' Up used to do paper piercing. So these are different templates and stuff for paper piercing different images. So, and I haven't gotten rid of those. On this second drawer, you're going to notice that I have some Stamp and Die storage cases. Those are extras. And over here, I've got some take your pick items. and some old cutting blades from our older cutter. And then these are the magnets from the _Stamparatus. So not too much in this drawer, you know, still kind of organizing and tidying up. Okay, down here you're going to notice empty plastic envelopes, okay? All right, they're empty because right now they are with a stamp set on the shelf, okay? I, of course, am labeling things. And so when the stamp set retires and I decide to sell it, then this is where I will look for the envelope for the dies, put them back in there, put the stamp set back in a plain clear case and sell it. But for now, it's with the stamp set. Okay, so yeah, these just stay here. Also, a great way to organize these is to organize them by catalog, and also when they came out as an online exclusive, okay? All right, so that's embossing folders. Oh, and something else that I needed to show you. I've got my long embossing folders here. Oh, and you know what I wanted to check? Check this out. That long folder fits in that container. I must go back to the container store. Isn't that amazing? Such a great way to organize things. I know, Gail, I've got my gingham embossing folder somewhere. I just couldn't find it this morning, but it is somewhere. I'll go ahead and put these. By the way, once they're labeled, I do alphabetize them, okay? So I wanted you to know that as well. But so this entire side is embossing folders and some miscellaneous storage, okay? All right. Now we're gonna go back over to my island here, and we're gonna talk about dies, okay? Any questions regarding the embossing folders? I would absolutely love to know how you organize yours. Diane said that she doesn't keep the paper anymore, the packaging paper. And so that, Diane, that's kind of giving me some freedom to maybe get rid of those. Maybe I don't really need those. So thank you for that advice. Anybody else? And Gail, I know I've got my gingham embossing folder because that is one of my favorites. I love gingham, so I know it's in there somewhere. So, all right. That's true, Gail. With us older ladies, the paper does help find the design because sometimes it's kind of hard to see what the design is if you haven't embossed the paper or if you don't have the label that came with it. Okay. Anything else? I'm reading back through comments. All right. Here we go. So Susan says she puts hers in an acrylic crate on a shelf on her island. I would love to know what size acrylic crate that you use, Susan. Do you have a special one that fits embossing folders perfectly? I would love to know. And she labels them, which is really important too. Okay. Diane says, mine are in a container with a lid and handles on a shelf. Oh, cool. And you even have a lid? That sounds decorative to me. You definitely can leave that out, right? That's awesome. Okay. Carol says, I would keep the papers. That's how I find things. It's really annoying that they don't have a picture on the front of the packaging for the dies. So yeah. I could definitely go either way on this for sure. Oh, wow. So Susan got her acrylic crate from the Dollar Tree. Easy storage. I will have to look for one of those. Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna move on to dies now, okay? And I've got a couple of things to share with you about dies, and I hope that you'll find it helpful, okay? All right. So sometimes we have dies that don't have a stamp set, and so they will need labeling. So Annika says old. What is old? We're still very young. I'm only 65. That's right, Annika. We are still young. Absolutely. Oh, thank you for measuring your crate, Susan. That's awesome. That's very, very helpful. I love the Dollar Tree for organizing things. Okay. So sometimes we have a stamp set. Excuse me, sometimes we don't have a stamp set, we just have a die, okay? And this is one of those dies. This is an online exclusive. It came out in March, and this is the wrong thing. Guess what this is? This is my mini corrugated embossing folder. Check that out. That does not go here. Okay, so this is an online exclusive, and it probably did come out in March, I believe. This folder right here, and guys, I don't know the name of it. Help me with this one. Woo, I have got to figure out the name to this one. Let's see. I'm loving the age comments. I'm right up there with you girls. How about that? How about that? Okay, so let's see. Anybody recognize this die? It was an online exclusive. I'm pretty sure it is still current, and I'm quickly looking through the online store to see if I can find the name of it. But I have like 9 pages to go through here, but hang tight. We'll get the name of it. It hasn't been out very long, and I haven't even used it on a card yet. But here it is in Petunia Pop. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's see. I'm looking. All right, when I have a die that stands alone, okay, and it doesn't have a stamp set, here it is. Oh, this does have a stamp set. The stamp set is called Pattern of Friendship. Do you all remember this one? All right, here it is. Check this out. It goes with this greeting. And you know how easily I found this? It's current. I looked under online exclusives on my bookcase. So it was and it was alphabetized, so it's very, very easy for me to find, okay? All right, so this die is called the Pattern of Friendship, and we are actually going to make a label for it. I don't think this will fit. Let's try this. Does it fit in a case? I don't think it's gonna fit in a stamp and die case. No, it will not. And so we need to get this on a magnet sheet, which is right here. These are 6x7 magnet sheets. You can actually find them at Stampin' Storage. But let's work on getting a title on this magnet sheet, okay? We did have a stripes and dots one, Carol, but this one is called Pattern of Friendship. So, Pattern of Friendship, and it's one die. I like to put the number of dies that are on the sheet. Okay, so I can always count them to make sure that I can count everything on the sheet to make sure that they're all there. All right. And so here is the label that we're gonna use. And let's just clip a little bit off here. We're gonna do a little trimming because we don't need any extra white. I'm notorious for losing things too, Susan. Absolutely. Okay. So I am going to put that about right there. Okay. Now this is ready to be stored. And I know I can't see the title very well, but that's okay. At least I know there's a title under here, which is what I'll find very helpful. The other thing I like to do, if it's a standalone die, is to put it in a clear envelope. These envelopes, they come 12 to a package. They are 6 by 7 pockets, and they are from Stampin' Storage, okay? So 12 come in there. And here is what it looks like once it's gone through the machine. So I'm gonna add that to the back, okay? So now I have added that to the back, and I wanna show you what I'm using on my tabletop. I just recently purchased this, absolutely loving it. It's an acrylic stand. It has 5 slots, okay? And I don't know how well you can see it just because it's clear, all right? When I am working and die cutting, I like to have current dies out. And so what my plan is to add this on the countertop, and then my current dies sit here. These are the dies that I use constantly, okay? For example, Nested Essentials. I cannot live without this. And so this too will go in a slot. And I'll show you from this angle as well. There's the Nested Essentials. I do alphabetize them, okay? Another thing I like to add to the acrylic stand, and let me find it. I like to add the 3D embossing plate. That's gonna sit in the back. And then whenever I'm embossing and I need cutting pads, I use these. So I never cut on these. I just like to use these. That's why I've got the labels on them. Yes, it is 20% off today, Diane. Thank you for reminding me. So now let's look. Again, you're going to get probably 4 or 5 dies in each slot. In the very back, I've got my heavy duty plates. And this will sit on my workspace. And I'm gonna show you the workspace so that you can see it. All right. Just straightening up for you. Let's move over here so I can show you what I mean when I refer to the workspace. Okay, so right here, I've got the acrylic stand. I've got my dies here. I'm gonna alphabetize these, and I've got my extra plates in the back, okay? These would also work really well in a drawer, okay? So that is another option for you, okay? All right, and I'm gonna show you where you can get those. Okay, so I will provide you with this link at the end of today's broadcast. It's right here, and I put it under storage containers because it deals with storage. And so here it is. And I put that with all the other storage containers that I use. So Carol says, let's see. Oh, thank you, Annika. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're liking the tips. So Susan, the desktop file organizer comes from Amazon. It's in my Amazon store. I'll provide that link. This would be great for file folders, catalogs, charging things like an iPad or something like that. So I already have one in my little office, which is the closet, you know, the closet that I fixed up. And so I've got one in there to charge the iPad. I've got catalogs in it, folders, that sort of thing. But it's pretty awesome. There it is. So I have, can you see? I have one in my cart right now. So I'm getting ready to get my second one, okay? All right, let's see if there are any other questions there. And then we're gonna look at die storage and how I did that. That would be, I'm glad you like the idea, Diane, of the embossing plates. They're just, I don't know about y'all, but there's some dies I use constantly. And if they're current, I'm gonna use them a lot because that's what I can sell. And I need them at my fingertips, okay? So that's why I have that on top. Let's see. Yeah, today's Stampin' Storage does have 20% off. I'm gonna show you some of those links in just a little bit, okay? All right, I think we're ready now to look at the die drawer. I'm seeing if there's anything else that I need to share here. I think we about have it. There's another new comment. So Susan says the Dollar Tree acrylic crate is tapered, so it doesn't work for 6x6 paper. I get those from Stampin' Storage. Oh, that's so good to know. Okay, thank you, Susan. Very helpful. All right, so here we go. Let's look at a little die storage, okay? This is how I stored my dies in my other stamp room before moving. So nothing really new here, but you may not have seen it before. So, and if we look, let's see, let me turn this around. If we look on this side of the cabinet, okay, that's where I have my current stamp sets. And then the double doors on the right is where I am keeping all my dies, okay? By the way, you're gonna notice some crates. These crates were purchased from Stampin' Storage many years ago, and so I don't even know if they have that size anymore. Okay, both crates, all of these dies are retired, okay? Some of them have stamp sets, but they are still on the 6x7 magnet sheet until I decide that I want to sell them and that I'm ready to part with them, okay? So I just keep them there. You know, I don't have to, pack them up until I'm ready to sell them. You're gonna notice that some dies are in envelopes. Yep, those are the dies that I haven't even used yet. Do y'all have any of those? I've got a few of those, okay? So, but that's okay. Second drawer, I have some magnet sheets that are not in use. I have some cutting plates as well, not in use, okay? And then the very bottom drawer, and I put these in the bottom drawer because they are super, super heavy, and you're going to see my 𝗧𝗵𝗲 dies, okay? You're going to see, you're gonna see my Big Shot platforms. Hang on if I can get to it. You'll see those. Whoops, sorry about that. You'll see some of those because I still have a Big Shot. I am storing the mini plates in another one of these Made Smart containers. Okay, from the Container Store. I just can't believe I'm using them like all over the room. They're amazing. And then I have dies here. There are certain dies that I just can't part with. And these dies are alphabet dies. And then of course, these are the long dies. Okay. So that is my current die storage, and I have it all done. You know, all the dies are now put in there. So here are some more different dies. These are dies that are either current, they might be online dies. These are things that I want to be using, okay? All right, so that, my friends, is my die storage. And we will head over to Stampin' Storage, and let's just take a look at some different things. Again, this is Stamp and Die Storage right here. 20% off today, and I hope you'll consider shopping with me. Here are magnet cards. I buy the 6x7, okay? The 6x7 magnet cards. I'm making a list of links for y'all. Okay. Yeah, 6x7, you get a 10 pack, okay? All right, so let's see what else we've got. There are some crates. There's a creative crate even in white. Here's crate dividers if you want those. These are acrylic crates if you'd rather have that. Let's see. So it looks like I've had my crates so long. I don't even know if they make that size anymore, but it looks like they well, you know, maybe they do, because that, I did the ones without covers, okay? So that would be the large crate without covers. Without cover. All right. Is there anything else that I need to share with y'all? Can you think of anything? All right, yeah, Diane says they still carry the wooden crates and they do have acrylic as well. And then Susan likes to store her big dies without stamps on a magnetic sheet attached to the end of her IKEA cubed shelf. Awesome. I love those IKEA shelves, the 𝗀𝗋 shelving. I had those for years in my first stamp room, and they were amazing. Gosh, I feel like, oh, I know what I wanted to share with you. Storage pockets, okay? Storage pockets. All right, so pick your options. They have 6x7, they have portrait size and landscape size. I'm pretty positive that I purchased the 6x7. Well, actually, no. Full product detail. I'm going to show you the ones I have. These are the pockets that I have, and they may not sell them anymore. I don't see the measurements. Mine are 7 3/8 inch wide by 6 3/4 inches wide. So a little bit bigger than the magnet card. Okay, and sometimes people use these storage pockets to store their scrap paper in. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Any other questions? Girls, we're getting there. We're getting so close to getting this room unpacked. Okay, so Diane says it reminds me of buying hot dogs and hot dog buns because the magnetic plates and the sleeves come in different quantities, not the same. I know. I know, it can be a bit confusing. You have to be super careful what you're ordering, right? Okay. All right, I think that's it. Any questions? I hope this was helpful. Please share in the comments how you organize your dies, your embossing folders, your stamp sets and dies. Do you organize them together or separately? So it's just super fun to know how everyone else does it, okay? Okay, now before I say goodbye, Stampin' Storage has shipping today, everyone, okay? They have an amazing sale going on. They're ready to ship to you today. I'm gonna look and see. Here it is. It's a flash sale. It's right here, and it's only today. 20% off magnet cards, storage pockets, crates, crate dividers, stamp and die bundle, stamp cards, which we just talked about all those things, okay? Those were the things that we just talked about. Now, if you're on the fence about my in color share box, this is going to be an awesome year of color, and I would love to share this box with you, okay? I'm going to include the link on today's post so that you have it. Let me make a note of that, a link for the in color box. All right, Peggy, have you signed up for your in color box? Because you do the best job on your boxes. I love how you utilize everything in the box. So here is an online exclusive that's coming out May 6th. It's a sailboat. And look at this in our in colors. Isn't this beautiful? And when you purchase my my share box, you're going to get 20 card bases. You're going to get designer paper, 2-tones cardstock, a full package of embellishments, 12.5 yards of ribbon. You're going to get a free color coach for the end colors. You're going to get a free palette of color right here. And all you do today is sign up, okay? No payment until the week of May 6th. You also get a free class with me. It's a craft along class. There will be 5 make and takes inside your box, okay? Margaret, I have your reservation. Absolutely, I have it. Yep, it did come through. So be sure to sign up. As soon as we say goodbye, I'm going to put the link up, okay? So you can go ahead and get signed up. I think I am the only demonstrator in the US who does their share box like this for the in colors, all right? It is an excellent deal. It is excellent quality. It comes in a pizza box with a beautiful label. It's great to have in your stamp room, your craft space. And it's labeled, and so you're gonna know what's in the box, okay? No organization needed. It comes organized for you, okay? All right, anybody have questions about the in color box? Annika, have a great night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. I will be around tomorrow, my friends, at 3 p.m. Eastern time, okay? So I'll see you tomorrow afternoon for our next organizing adventure. All right? Have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.